board and ready to flow. Bruddc and Giddy got a show to glow. Life stories wild like a late night dream. We're spilling the tea and it's hot like steam. Bruddc and Kitty, we're here to play. Life and gossip every single day. Laugh a little louder, who needs control? It's the Bruddc and Kitty show. From trending news to the tales untold. Spinning the wheel, let the stories unfold. Catch us in the vibe where the chatter grows. With a pair that keeps you on your toes. What's the buzz? What's the word? Spill it fast, haven't you heard? Bruddc and Kitty, we're here to play. Life and gossip every single day. Laugh a little louder, who needs control? It's the Bruddc and Kitty show. Truth or dare, we're taking the leap. Stories that'll make you laugh or weep. Tune in now, let the fun explode. This is your stop, it's the Bruddc code.
Good afternoon, good people. You're watching the Bruddc and Kitty show. Kitty, how are we doing on this lovely Monday afternoon? Make me feel terrible. Tell me that you've been to the gym, you've done loads today, and all the rest of the good stuff.
I have. I've been to the gym. I've done 2 classes. I did leg presses and I did glutes. And then I came home and fixed my bed because I moved my bed yesterday and it just fell to pieces. So I came home, got some brackets. Instead of having to buy like a brand new bed, tenner in screw fix. It today.
So you got stuck. You got stuck in. I didn't make it to the gym today. I've kind of just been, kind of been resting. There was this new TV show, the Game of Thrones spin-off. I don't know if you see. Have you seen? You must have seen it advertised, The Knight's Tale or something like that.
Funny-ish one. It's quite funny, isn't it?
I don't. Yes, I suppose you could see it like that. I'm kind of like Game of Thrones for me is kind of very serious for me. So I was a bit upset by the episode, to be honest with you. It was it's very short, like 40 minutes, and really nothing bloody happened.
I mean, I'm a throny like you. I need context. I still need to know what the Icemen were all about. I don't.
No one. It doesn't even, like the moment Arya shoved that dagger in the guy's heart and he popped away like a popsicle, like an icicle. Nothing made sense. Like it kind of ruined the whole show we kind of spoke about.
And I was like, right, okay then. So what was all that about? There is in production Jon Snow.
Well, I've heard it. I have heard it as well. There's a few spin-offs. I think they're going to see how it goes. I think the Jon Snow one's kind of died off now, but as with House of Asher, and Spartacus, they've done a resurrection there, and that's actually turned out to be very good. Funny enough, episode 8's not out yet. I'm trying to find it. If anyone knows where to find episode 8, Game of Thrones, please let us know. Please let us know.
You don't need to send it to me. I found it. Not episode 8, but I found the series.
Okay. I'm with you.
Yeah. So yesterday I tried to watch it, but I decided to move my bedroom around, and so I stopped watching it. But I have got it all now to watch, and I can just sit there and.
Rightio. Unless we've been living under a rock, guys, we've seen this Jake Lang all over social media. This guy's he's a Proud Boy list. Well, I don't know who he is. He conducts himself as a Proud Boy, but then he's got posts saying I'm a proud Jew and my sister's in the IDF. This lovely reporter done a lovely breakdown of this guy, just to break it down for everyone. Let's have a little look and see.
Self-proclaimed Islamophobe and Yahtzee Edward Jake Lang was just saved from an angry crowd in Minneapolis by, you guessed it, a black man and a Muslim man. But before we get to that part, I'm going to show you exactly who this guy is.
The people are done being pushed around by Islam. They are done being pushed around. Oh, there you go, buddy. Oh, that's a Muslim prayer call right there. You hear that? That's a Muslim prayer call.
And it doesn't end there.
Honestly, if I catch a Muslim that's coming at me and pulling blow his head off outside my home and I get it on video. Be the most viral video of all time. Jake Lang blows the head off of a Muslim trying to jihad him. Watch it in slow motion 4K from a Ring doorbell. Pretty cool.
And shocker to absolutely no one, he's a January 6er. No, I'm not talking about he just happened to be there. He's a cop beater. You can pause to read this. And so when, yet again, he decides to put himself in an already tense, dangerous situation to escalate more violence, the people that he demonizes and fantasizes about killing are the ones that come in and save him. Check this out. And even some far-right commentators on X are calling it out. This man is a Muslim content.
Rightio. How interesting. How interesting. He's on social media. He's giving it all the big BB. He hates this person. He hates that person. He's here to he wants to shoot. He fantasizes about shooting these people. And this guy is getting he turns up for his protest and he's getting his ass handed to him, getting beaten. Literally, I don't know what would have happened if they would have decided to just, go full on. I don't know if he'd still be. He definitely wouldn't have walked out there for sure. But saved by a black man and a Muslim, the people that he condemns and hates. How ironic.
Has he made a statement since?
Probably not. Probably not. I haven't seen it. We will obviously, unfortunately, with this, this is going to make him a big name. He's going to be on all the podcasts and stuff. We spoke about this before with like people that have certain views about different types of people. When they actually need that person for or whatever, their mums treat when it comes to treating their mum in hospital, a nurse, a fireman that kicks the door down and saves their family. What do you think he'll be feeling now?
I probably don't think he'll be thinking like we would be thinking. If it was us, we'd be like, oh my God, thank you very much. You saved my life. He'll be like, well, he's there anyway. He'll probably spin it that guy was one of the protesters against him and he's only done it for likes and views. I'm not saying that's why the guy's done it, because I don't believe that's why he's done it. I just think this guy was a nice guy. But I think he'll spin it. I think he'll spin it because he's not a very nice person. You sent me another video, which I don't know whether you're going to show, but at one point, somebody walks up onto a wall and just kicks him straight in the back of the head.
Yeah, that could have been bad on its own, literally.
That could have been. And I don't condone violence, but I'm not going to lie, I smiled. So,
this is the thing. It's always the people with good hearts that tend to have sort of a moral conscience about crimes. Like, yes, like it, and a moral conscience towards people that hate them as well. People that hate them, and you've got people putting themselves in harm's way to save them. Like, it's a weird one because you would expect Muslim people of color. This guy is a self-confessed, HH kind of guy. Like, this person would kill you if he had the opportunity, and you save his life. You save him. You get him out of harm's way. When you think about it, like, and what's interesting to me, that I don't know if you noticed as well, the people that were, even though they had balaclavas on, you could quite clearly see what color they were. It was more or less white people that were more angry and wanted to inflict violence on him. That's quite interesting.
Because it's embarrassing to white people, and I think that's why people get so irate about it. We've always said it's the white Karen. We laugh about it, don't we? You and I. It's people that usually look like me that are the sort that are there going, oh, this is disgusting. But it's embarrassing because we don't all think like that. Unfortunately, there are those that are radicalised left and there are radicalised right. We know that, but it's those people in the middle that are like, I just want to live my life. I just want to go about my business. And you're asking me to pick sides. I don't want to pick sides because I like everybody. And I just think as a white person, it's embarrassing. It's an embarrassment. Like I told you that we used to do the St. George Day parades, and there used to be those people that would turn up and say some absolutely vile things, and I used to go absolutely mental. I'd be like, "That's disgusting." Well, this is about St. George. This is about England. I said, "Yeah, and everybody lives on this island. Everybody lives here. Get over it." And I just used to feel so embarrassed that these people were at something that I'd helped organise.
Yeah, that's interesting because know you don't often hear about white people feeling embarrassed for the crimes of other white people. This is an argument for every other community that's not white. Let's just say that, like just for instance, a Muslim guy does something, all of a sudden every Muslim person's bad. Black person does something, all of a sudden every black person's bad. White people do things just as much as any other color, and there doesn't ever seem to be that sort of public condemnation of their crimes, like the way you just done there. You don't. How often do you see people stand up and say, "As a white person, I want to say that I hate this. This person does not represent me." Blah 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 blah. How often do you see that on social media?
You don't see it because it doesn't get the likes and it doesn't get the clicks, and it's not a dog whistle, is it? We know that what social media is all about, getting the views. So me standing up and saying, "Do you know what? Sometimes you lot really, really embarrass me. Will you just behave?" Do you know? And it just really, really grates. But like you said, that wouldn't get any views. That wouldn't get any views. I used to be absolutely mortified with some of the things that people used to say.
Yeah, sorry.
And when we went to that rally, as much as I was proud of like 50%, there was those people there that were saying some absolute vile things, and throwing the mustache man salute, and I was like, some of them, I was just like, "Oh, will you just behave?
Yeah,
Are you subbing?"
yeah. I think I was watching Trump's press secretary lady when that Renee lady was shot, and the way they seem to be describing that incident, the people on it, unfortunately, it has been split. America is very divided, left and right, and it's hard. It's a real hard, like where people are uniting that don't necessarily have the same sort of thought process. And when I say that, you've got the LGBT community, and you've got the Muslim community, you've got people of color, you've got all different people. It's basically they're just anti-right. And I suppose when, like you said, you don't want to pick a side. People will be stuck in the middle. When the fighting starts, people are going to be forced to pick a side, and it is just a matter of time before the fighting starts. Like we thought we was at rock bottom in America, in England. In America, let me just get this video quickly up and just show you what's going on quickly here. It's not really. Let me just get it up. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
You live in the neighborhood?
Yep, this is my block. This is my area. I don't go into other people's neighborhoods and try and intimidate them. I protect my people.
Are you giving out your name?
No, I'm okay with that. Our neighborhood's showing up.
You guys had a lot of people out here, right?
At least 30 or more.
Yeah.
40 or 50.
That's pretty good for a quick turn.
yeah. So people are arming themselves with big machine guns. Or assault rifles there. It's not a machine gun. I don't know. Is it classed the same? I'm not sure. But yeah, they're arming themselves with big guns, walking the streets, and they're saying, "Nah, you're not getting past here." Like there's been countless videos. There's this Black Panther Party thing that's just sort of come out of nowhere as well, where they're armed and they're basically saying, you're not pushing us around and blah blah blah. And they do have white members as well, white and Asian members in their group as well, which is quite interesting. So
Embarrass me. Where I'd be like, "Oh, further," because they were mainly white as well, weren't they? I'd be like, "Oh, what?" If they end up shooting somebody and killing them, I'd be absolutely mortified that people would think that that's my view or that's my view. I have my own views, and I am literally down the middle. Sometimes I can listen to the right and go, and sometimes I can listen to the left and go, and then common sense comes in and says, "Why can't we just live together?"
yeah. I feel like with America though, it's slightly different because the way Trump is leading them, it seems like they're just destined for another very big war. Seems like they're just destined for it. And he's pushing it. He's like, "Yeah, we're going to take this. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. We need this. We need that." And obviously you'll have the warmongers that are just like, they just want to go and kill. Like, you do have them. They just want to kill. They want to go out and they want to get in the trenches, let's just say. But I really worry for us, and especially with reform, seeing how Nigel Farage is so pally with America. I feel like he'll be skipping hand along with Trump and Netanyahu into the next wars. And for the people that do vote reform, I do want to say this: if you do vote reform and Nigel Farage gets in, and he ends up licking Donald Trump's backside and following him into every single war, make sure it's your kids that are going to fight. Every single one of the reform voters, everyone, if you do it, and also as well, if we lose the NHS as well, due to you reform voters, every single one of you will be to blame for that. Like, because I don't particularly like Labour, I don't particularly like the Conservatives, but at least Keir Starmer's sort of acting as a little bit of a, he's not up Donald Trump's ass, let's just say. Nigel, can you imagine Nigel Farage, where if he gets into power, he will be right up that man's ass, and we will be going into war after war after war, or on things will be done in our name, which will side in with them, and give weapons, whatever Trump wants, Nigel Farage is going to do. He's going to lick his backside. And yeah, I just hope that your kids are the ones that are going to go and fight in these wars.
Yeah, again, an embarrassment, another embarrassment. That man is an embarrassment. He's pledging to do all these things, and I will also say to these people that want to vote reform, ask him how he's going to do it. Ask him. The only way he's going to do it is if he goes gung ho, like Donald Trump. And you think about your neighbours and the people that you live with, and how far back are we going to go? How far back are we going to go before all the immigration? Because we're an island. We have we've been sort of integrated for very, very long. Denmark.
I think the immigration that people that's really upsetting people is obviously the boat situation. The boat situation wasn't happening until Nigel Farage and his buddy Boris Johnson went around telling everyone that they need to get out of the EU. Like, how ironic is that?
Yeah.
Like, so he got his money, he got reformed. The NHS missed out on 350 million a week extra due to his promises, his big bus he went through London with. Yeah, I mean, these politicians are for hire, basically, and it's such a shame that the right don't make people earn their votes. Like, they don't make them earn them; they just tell lies. And even Nigel Farage himself has said it's impossible to stop the rise of Islam and stuff like that, because they have religion. They're part of this country. They're 5 and sometimes 6 generation Muslim born people. Like, there's no way for you to send them back. Even people in his party are people that are immigrants that come to this country. Illegal immigration, criminals, people that are like no good to this country. No one's got a problem with getting rid of these people. If Donald Trump had used his brain, and just said, right, let's just target the bad people first. Like, we've got a lot of bad people. Today I saw a video of a man tiling, doing some flooring or something like that. He was doing someone's pavement or something like that. A bunch of Mexicans doing someone's pavement, like doing some work. Tapped on the shoulder by ICE agent, shoved in the back of the van. I'm just like, really? That guy's a danger to us? That guy there that's doing floors and doing labor and stuff?
Don't forget, he screwed up the World Cup. He screwed it
We
up.
don't know how bad that's going to be, do we? We actually don't know the effects of that.
Senegal can't come because they can't get the visas. The fans can't come. I think there are about 4 or 5 teams that can't come because they can't get the visas. That's before you even think about the tickets, because the tickets have just skyrocketed. That's just disgusting. But that is the World Cup. That's something that's the working.
He's proud of that as well. He said, "I brought the World." That's one of the things he boasts about. I brought the World Cup to America, and if the country, I think of with Donald Trump, although he's crazy, I don't think he's stupid. So I don't think I think that things that make sense, you can kind of you can kind of pretty much guarantee that something will be put in place to sort that out. But still, it's not ideal. But you can't stop Trump at the minute. Like, you know, the thing about it is with Russia and China, they are going around doing deals. Morally, you could say that they are not doing the right thing in terms of giving countries loads of money and loads of things, and then giving them unrealistic sort of interest rates, let's just say, like, you know, things they have to commit to, and if they don't pay the payments back or whatever, they give up an oil mine or a gold mine. You know, that does sound immoral, but still, it's still business. End of the day, the country's been given the cash, or it's been built a hospital, or it's a sewage, or whatever's been built. They've got something for their money. America's just going in bullish, like, you know, just, yeah, Venezuela, we need their oil, blah blah blah. We're going to be bombing Iran soon, so we need to get those resources, like, you know. And I just think that's gonna ultimately. And how many attacks is that gonna happen? Like, who's like, you know, you start disrupting countries, start blowing up countries, stealing people's presidents and stuff. Eventually, what's going to happen is, you know, the people are going to start, and who's going to be the victim of that? The normal everyday person. Like, you know, we wouldn't have had half the terrorist attacks if we didn't follow America into these stupid wars.
I know. It's, you know, it's that we've said it so many times. I want to distance myself from America. I don't want to be represented. They don't speak for me as an English person. Sorry, you don't. He's gone absolutely doolally with this power thing. It's just like, I'm taking it. Greenland, I want it. They've said you can use Greenland. Come in, by all means, use Greenland. He's like, no, I'm just going to take it, and I'm going to be in charge of it. That's not cricket, love. I'm sorry. Who actually says to him, yeah, this is a really good idea, Don?
Well, I was thinking about that the other day. Like, you know, is Donald Trump saying, is he saying these things, but is he? I don't think he has that sort of knowledge about. I think he's being told this and advised about things, and he's got the way he is. He's just like, yeah, we need it. Okay, we're going to take it. It's a deal. Like, that's kind of his. He's very simplistic in that sort of way. Like, you know, if someone says to him, "We need this," or someone, like, you know, people around him telling him things, or he could be getting dictated to. Like Putin said, it's the same men in suits that keep coming to turn up to these negotiations and stuff. So it's just very scary, and it's very worrying, and we need to distance ourselves from America. We can't have, because otherwise we're guilty by association. Like, you know, just like with the Russia situation with Ukraine. If we're giving Ukrainians weapons, in theory, we're taking part in a war. Is that even worth risking? Is it worth, like, you know, I understand, you know, what's going on in Ukraine, and they're a proud nation, and they wanna be able to do what they want to do.
Mm.
I'm sure every country wants to. I'm sure that every African country would love to be able to get top dollar for their oil and their gold and their diamonds. Unfortunately, they can't. You know, unfortunately, they can't, because they don't have big guns and big powers behind them. Unfortunately, you can't. Life sucks that way. And for sure, if you would think you're going to be able to put nukes on your base and point them at Russia, you're nuts. You're nuts. Like, you know, just a stone throw away on some, like, in some areas, like, you know. So it's just not going to happen. You have to accept that. Ask Mexico if they want to, if they're tell Trump that me and China and Russia have done a deal with Mexico, and we're going to put our nukes in Mexico. See what Trump says to you. Like, you know, unfortunately, Ukraine, it's the same thing. It's as simple as that. It's the same thing. We can't, historically, Britain will never split from America. We need to. We need to. We need to.
Need to, I think. Like I say, I bring it up again. This year is 250 years since the independence. I think it's time we actually.
And you lot just wait and see. You lot just wait and see. I don't imagine it's going to be very long before Americans start shooting each other. Like, you know, literally start shooting each other. It's only a matter of time. And when I say that, I don't mean just the odd shooting. I mean like mass people turning up, ICE agents. They like, it'll be a war in the streets, like, against the ICE agents and stuff. Do you think they will? 100%, mate. They're already walking the streets with freaking guns, saying they're protecting their streets, and no one's getting in. Like, you know, 100%. Where's that video? Let me get that video up again, just to show you guys quickly what I was talking about. Where is it? Why did it just disappear? It don't normally disappear. Oh, let's add it there.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is a gentleman in the street
You live in the neighborhood?
with his big
Yep, this is my
rifle,
block,
and what
this
is
my
he
area.
doing?
I don't go into other people's neighborhoods and try and intimidate them. I protect my people.
Are you giving out your name?
No, I'm a
There's 30 of these guys. So what do you think happens if ICE come into their areas and they try to push them around and they've got those big guns? What will happen is ICE will, what looks more scary to you, Key? That man with that gun or Renee in her car pulling away from you? What looks more scary?
Those guys.
With the guns, surely, So what do you think is going to? So we already know that these ICE agents are scared of single mums, and they feel the only way to get the upper hand is to blow their brains out. What do you think they're going to do with 30 men with guns and stuff like that? Start forcibly telling them they need to get out the areas and stuff, they're gonna make a decision. Decisions are going to have to get made on whether to open fire in some circumstances, and unfortunately, it's going to get sold as, oh, look, extreme lefties with guns and stuff like that. Like it's gone, like the government, the establishment, whoever you want to call it, they've done a number on people where people have dehumanized people to the point of extreme lefty, extreme righty. When in fact, this is a white woman that looks just like you, just like your mum, just like your sister, and you lot are willing to blow each other's brains out because she's a extreme lefty. That for me is failure. That for me is complete failure, and the establishments have won.
And it's okay because
Yeah,
she was
extreme lefty, some
Yeah.
crazy lefty. That's that.
still a human life. It's still a human life. No matter what her thoughts and her views are, it's still a human life. I don't.
Dehumanizing.
It is. It is. But I think America is going to the dogs. I really.
Mate.
It will be like the OK Corral again. You can't take this. You can't take that. I mean, he's already said, tariffs in the UK now and this, that.
So I mean, what we like, whoever gets in charge now needs to make us America protected, and America shouldn't be able to put sanctions on us and then screw us over. We should. Why aren't we doing our own deals? Why aren't we sanctioning them? We need to. Like I said to you, we need a king. We don't need any weasel politician. We need a king. The country's in need of a king right now. A proper king. A proper king on horse, big sword or big gun. We need a proper king that's going to take proper charge. And corruption, politicians doing madness. Do we catch them? Old school sort of pushing. We need a proper king. That's what people will respect.
Straight to the tower, treason.
What do you mean, Sherman? What do you mean you can't have it both ways?
Which ways? What? I don't understand because
protection. We don't need protection from America. We've got our own nukes. What do we need protection from America for? We've got our own nukes. Do you think we're more protected having America as an ally from the great powers that actually could destroy us, like Russia, Korea, and China? Do you think more likely? Do you think they're likely to see us as more of a threat, aligned with America, or less of a threat if they see us saying, "Look, we're breaking away from everything. We've got our nukes. Anyone fucks with us, we'll blow you up and kill you." That's simple. We'll blow you up and kill you. Other than that, we're going to start trading with everyone. We're going to start doing good. We have not made that investment. Well, we need to. We need to do it now. We can't be. Trump can't be. Trump can't. You see what he's done to Iran? He's basically made I think it's like $1 million of their pounds to the dollar. Imagine they did that. Imagine if it was £1 million of our money. £1 million equaled $1 in America. Can you imagine if they'd done that to our currency? That's a long way off. We need to do it now, mate. Do you not think it'd be a good idea to start preparing for these kind of things? No country should be able to sort of sanction us and have it cripple our economy. It shouldn't. We need to start preparing for it, for life away from America. We don't need anyone. Obviously for trading and fair trade, I'm telling you, Africa is a gold mine. They've got everything there. We just do the right things by them, and guess what? Guess what will happen, guys? If we do the right thing by these countries and give them fair things for their money, give them fair investments, help them with infrastructure. Guess what will happen? There'll be less Africans coming over here, and there'll be more Europeans, more people from Britain wanting to go over to other countries and enjoy the lovely weather, lovely sceneries, and stuff like that. There's so much out there that we could do good deals with. But we have made trade deals. We have made the trade deals. Well, we need to just protect ourselves. That's all I'm saying, buddy.
Do you know? It's like he's going to take us into this war. We're going to have to go in with him, How much money is that going to cost us when we've got the NHS on its arse, basically? We've got a cost of living crisis. We've got all this, and then he's going to say, right, we're going to go to war then.
Yeah. Who benefits from war? Who's the biggest beneficiary of war?
The people that make weapons. And that's
The arms dealers, basically. So yeah, they do say something about arms dealers running the world and pharmaceutical companies running the world. All things that we need, which is quite ironic because it's all made by men, citizens of whatever countries. Why isn't this all why isn't this all like a government sort of structure? Like, why isn't the government controlling these things? Why are they paying private businesses, private owners? Like, why it just doesn't make sense. Logically, it doesn't make sense. The only way it makes sense if you say, right, these companies, these arm dealers and stuff, these arms companies, they give politicians hundreds of millions of pounds, and if they want to go to war, if they want us to, they want to, it's just one hand wiping the other. Basically, I would like to think that, but I'm old enough to see this playbook. Do explain, sir. Do explain, kind sir.
if it's okay seeing it, but we
Good
need to.
God.
We need
Yeah,
to.
we need to, yeah.
I agree, and I see it, but it's like we need to stop it. We can't go to war. We don't want to go to war. We can't afford to go to war.
I was thinking, like I said, I don't know if I said this last time. I was thinking about the other day. I was walking down the street and I was thinking, can you imagine a bomb just dropped on me and blew me up? Like, how that would suck. Like, how that would really, really suck if a bomb just dropped on you and blew you up. And I could only imagine it. Imagine the people in other countries where this is a reality, where
Yeah,
bombs are dropping on their head. Like, because for me, if a country has to go to war, the leaders have failed that country.
yeah.
The leaders have failed that country. In this day and age, if you have to go to war, there's always a deal to be made. I'm pretty sure if they would have made a better deal with those, if they would have been treating the Palestinians right in Gaza, I'm pretty sure there's something that could have been done to stop the war. I know everyone's going to go to scripture or whatever and blah, 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 but there's something you could have done. You could have given them control over their water at least. Why do you have control over their water? Like, how can you stop? How can one country be able to push a button and stop someone's water? That's mental.
No. Why would you want to? That's another question you've got to ask yourself. Why would you want to stop somebody's water? It's a basic necessity for a human being. Why would you want to stop their water?
I would almost class it as almost like it's like slavery almost
Yeah,
in a way, because like you're having such a strong such a strong control. Like, fundamentally, drinking water should be a basic right for everyone. Every human being on this planet should be able to have some fresh water. Like, no one should be able to stop you from getting fresh water. Like, for me that's insane. But yeah, anyhow, Kitty, anyhow, what we're gonna do? We have another video. We're moving on swiftly now. A bunch of nurses have taken. What are you explaining, Kitty? You're a bit more familiar with the story.
right. There's a group of nurses in Darlington in Durham,
Hmm.
and they have been harassed in their changing rooms by a transgender woman.
Say no more. We've got a video. Won't play all of it, but we'll play. We'll play a minute of it, guys.
Our dignity has been affected. It's not dignified to walk into a changing room and be expected to get changed in front of a male.
These 7 nurses went into battle with their employer, taking their NHS trust to court for allowing a transgender colleague to use a female changing room.
We need a safe space to get changed in. We undress to our bra and knickers, so it's not appropriate to have a biological male in there.
Their complaints are about Rose Henderson,
Rose.
an operating department practitioner who identifies as a woman.
Rose Henderson first started working here at Darlington Memorial Hospital in 2019 and was allowed to use a female changing room under the Trust's transitioning in the workplace policy. In 2023, complaints from nurses began, and the following year, 26 women signed a letter complaining about Rose's use of the changing room and what they said was inappropriate behaviour inside it.
One nurse, Karen, who's with us today, she experienced a pretty traumatic event where the colleague would ask her, I think 3 times, whether she was going to get changed yet. And Karen's had some past trauma in her life.
I think we get the gist. I think we get the gist. What's been the ruling of this, Kitty? Have you seen the ruling yet?
They've sided with the nurses, and they've
Oh,
said
they've sided with the nurses, so the trans woman can no longer go in there
no,
and have banter. Get her.
I just think it's. I mean, I've seen women that look like Rose, so I wouldn't have a problem with Rose coming. But by all accounts, Rose was being rather inappropriate, apparently quite a lot with women, literally sitting there waiting for them to get changed.
I think that's the worst thing you could do. I think the best thing you could do if you really feel like you're a woman and you really feel that you're unsafe and you do go into that toilet, you go in there, you be discreet. You don't let things hang. I think that's the best way of doing that to make people. I feel like you just got to try and make people feel comfortable in that sort of environment. Should you get into that environment, but I always say, for me, this should be down to women. Women should have the right to choose if they want trans women in the toilets. Like, it's especially if the pieces are still intact. I think if the pieces aren't intact, then I think I'm open. I still think it's down to women. Provide their own space for trans women. We said this, but logistically, like, how many small businesses, small shops, and that just have one, most small shops just have one toilet anyway, and everyone has to share it anyway. But in changing areas and stuff, like, this could be an issue.
Nurses have to get changed. We know that they get out of their uniforms.
Yeah,
And
saying that, I remember when my kids were at school, actually, I felt very uncomfortable about the fact that when they used to have to change for PE, sometimes they used to have to change girls and boys in the same room. They were slightly younger, but I still felt a bit funny about that, to be honest with you.
I can remember it getting changed at my desk. That's
what we had to do most of the time, wasn't it? Like,
pants and vest. I can remember that. But this isn't just a trans woman. This is something that was inappropriate. Now, this is the thing.
Apparently.
This is what we
allegedly.
Most, and somebody's just knocked on my door. I'm sure they do this on purpose every time.
Allegedly. She always gets a delivery, doesn't she? Always gets a delivery, guys. This is the lovely Kitty, and she's always getting a delivery. Live TV, guys. This is what happens. But yeah, it's we are in different times. Yeah, we are. We certainly are in different times. And I suppose what some people would say is, if we continue to be progressive like this, like, let's just look at what's happening at the minute. Like, let's just look in the birth rate in most Western countries is just going plummet. People are no longer getting married. Getting married and getting divorced. People are no longer making families. Let's just say that. People, the birth rate, I think it's below 1 point. Is it below 1.4? I think it's below at the minute. And the society, the stats people, I've seen their stats, and apparently, if it goes below a certain point, like, the society can't maintain itself. Like, there won't be enough young people to look after old people, and so however that fancy bit works. So what they're being forced to do is immigration, and there are people out there that have the stats and see the bigger picture to everything else. Like, we just see it as, our choice. We can have babies if we want to, blah, blah, blah. Leading to a lot of degeneracy as well in society, I would say, leading to a lot of that, traditional families are being destroyed. The only people that are sticking to it are, like, the religious people. They're sticking to it, one man, one woman, or sometimes one man and four women, but still within the family diet. I wouldn't be arguing, mate. I'll be taking that for me, that might be a check sign straight away on that one. Four wives, good God.
Yeah, but four wives nagging you as well.
4 wives nagging you.
Yeah, what are you doing? Who's Madeline?
Yeah. Whose day is it today? Or imagine if you get one day where one day for the gents, one day for the men, where everyone needs some loving, basically, and the poor guys just, like, crawling. Good afternoon, specialist. Good afternoon. We're talking about the I don't know what we just fell into. We just fell into the fundamentals of The four wives dynamic. But Kitty, we were talking about this. Let's get a ruling on this one, and let's move on to our final segment of the show.
I think this is a bad thing. This is what I'm on about. This one person has made it really bad for all of those other people, and this is what we're talking about. It just makes it so uncomfortable. I mean, I go to the gym. I walk into the gym. I get, to the change rooms, get changed. I'm walking around in nothing, right? If there's a woman sitting there that's sort of just, are you getting changed? Are you getting changed? I'd be like, why? What? And it's that, it's.
Someone done that to me once actually, and I could tell it was like a kind of sort of like it's like a male sort of testosterone thing. And I think I didn't actually feel that much because I'm a very private person when it comes to getting changed anyway. So I kind of shriveled up like a freaking pea, like a pea basically, because it wasn't like getting changed, getting my bits out in front of other men. It ain't really my sort of thing, to be honest with you. So
Yeah, but
yeah.
I wouldn't maybe use better words than I shriveled up to a little pig.
Well, yeah, sure. Well, that's the reality sort of thing. I think they wanted to know. I think they wanted to know if the stereotypes were correct and stuff. But there's two types of people in this world. There are showers and there are growers.
Apparently
The,
so.
Allegedly, the growers are just as big as the showers, but just not all the time. They're not walking around looking like they're about to rob a post office full of different things.
Yeah, I've seen your video in your bikini, so I'm saying nothing. Do you know what I mean?
Didn't the court make the decision on the case before? I think they have made the decision and they ruled with them. But I think it's being appealed though, isn't it? Is that right? It's being appealed at the minute.
Rose has said that she didn't make any inappropriate comments.
I've seen that. Yeah,
but what she considers inappropriate, might be totally different to what other people sitting there. I mean, if she's actually sat there and gone, "Are you getting changed yet?" I think that's a little bit inappropriate. Or maybe she was waiting for this woman to go so she could get changed. But I just think it's women's spaces are for women.
Trans women as well.
No. Unless they haven't got the bits, in which case they're women. If they haven't got the bits, they're not a danger. They're not a danger. And I'm not saying that all of them are dangers. What I'm saying is that's how women, think. We think like that.
It is. I do like to balance everything off, and I have seen loads of videos of trans people saying that they're more likely to be victims of attack and stuff like that. Out in public in general and stuff. But as a woman, would you say there's is this like would you say it's a daily occurrence of like worrying about men bundling you into a van or something like this or perving on you? And that's a horrible thing to think about, isn't it?
It's every day, every moment. You walk into the supermarket, you're watching, you check what you're wearing, you make sure that your skirt's not too short. This is how we've been brought up as women, as girls. Don't do this, don't do that, you can't wear this, you can't wear that. We've been taught to protect ourselves. Now, you always say to me, there are men that will help you, and
for sure.
But we don't know who you are.
You don't know that for sure. But I can assure most people that whenever they go out, there'll be a man with good intentions that would be the first person to come to your aid and is looking out for you, whether you even know it or not. Because unfortunately, this is where, like, even as men, you think it's horrible, and it is horrible that women have to worry about being attacked and all these sort of things. But men also have to worry about being like very often when I'm walking my dog and I'm like, you get someone that's got like a mediocre walking pace that you can catch up with them, but they don't necessarily walk away from you. And like, I'm walking behind them and think I'm trying to speed up, but it's like I can't speed up anymore. It look like I'm bloody sprint walking or something, and I can't slow down either because it looked like I'm stalking them, sort of thing. So there is that from men as well. We do have exactly the same.
I do feel sorry for them. For instance, right, this is a friend of mine went out, she slipped over, banged her head. A friend of hers took her home to her home because obviously she was dazed or whatever.
Yeah.
Taken her to the hospital. She actually passed out, came to, and he was doing the do.
No way.
Yeah. So this was supposedly a friend. This was so that's how vulnerable women are. So even when you trust
Wow.
somebody and you think these people are absolutely fabulous and you've known them absolutely years, because this girl had known him absolutely years.
Wow. And you kind of stumbled onto our final segment, really, Kitty, with that. Friendships. Do we really have friends? Why friends? But why people that supposedly love you and like you and they consider you a friend, they want to be around you, but they have bad intentions for you. Like, they talk your business. They're two-faced. Like, what is it? What is it about people? Why can't people, if they don't like you, just say, fine, I don't like you, and write you off? Why do they have to be around you, talk about you, talk your business to people? Why do they have to do this?
I would say it's jealousy. Jealousy. I used to hang around with a group of girls, a group of women, and turned out they didn't like me, and I don't know how, because I'm fabulous.
Mhm.
And the moment I turned my back, they'd be saying things, and they'd be stirring up trouble. And I used to hang around with a male friend, and we used to go to gigs together and everything. Nothing in it, but by the time they'd finished, he was married, and there was nothing in it. But they would have ruined his marriage, chatting stuff about me and this person. And in the end, I just had to walk away from those people, because they're not my people. And I've never been able to hang around with that guy since, because I don't want to, damage his marriage.
Yep.
And I think it's jealousy. I think that was jealousy, because we were having fun and we was doing what we was doing and we was going where we was going and so on. They were just so jealous. And I think that's a big problem between, especially girls, especially women. Women.
Yeah. Do you know what women? Do you know when people say jealousy as well? It can be loads of different things, and the jealousy might just be. It might just be something that you have a laugh with a guy and have it just be like platonic, so to speak, rather than anything else. So the only way they can rationalize it in their head is to talk about you and say, "Oh, look at her, she's out sleeping with a married man," and all the rest of it. And because that's it. I don't know why people do this. Like, they can't just see things for what they are. Sometimes you can see things and you can, but I get it though as well. Like, we all have a gossip, you're not in, this is England, part of being English, you have a gossip, and sometimes you talk things, sometimes you talk people's business when you shouldn't. It does happen and you don't really mean nothing by it. Maybe it's just that you're bored or something. They don't. Yeah, I mean, for sure. When it gets malicious, when it gets really malicious, when friends start talking about you and stuff, they don't have a life. That's it. Their life needs so much. Their life is so bad that they need meaning from. They need, the only way to give it meaning is to talk shit on someone that they call a friend.
I also think it's a bit of projection as well, because I think sometimes that's what they would be doing. They would probably be sleeping with that married man. So don't project me, but don't by something that you would do. You see, I wasn't doing that. It was really horrendous what they did, and girls, when they all come together, can be quite vicious. And then they get the WhatsApp group, which then gets leaked, that got leaked.
Oh no! Oh no!
It got leaked. But at the end of the day, I think a lot of as well, like people have seen me now and they think that I'm doing really, really well, and they've fallen out with me for that as well.
Oh, good God. Yeah. If this is one of the other things, like, you could, I don't know, you could have a stupid ornament that you really love, and you love this ornament. It might not be, it could be priceless, it could be worth nothing, but to you it means all the world and you're happy with it. You clean it every day, you look at it every day and you love it. Someone else can be jealous of you or something so simple as that. Look at her horrible ornament that she's got there, like, she thinks it's blah blah blah, rather than just seeing the sentimental value that you seeing it, or just being a good friend and not judging you. Yeah, you can say, "Oh, someone's furniture is horrible," whatever. But where does the line get drawn when it comes to being two-faced as a friend?
I just think there's harmless gossip, isn't there? Right? Have you seen what Kitty's doing? You know what she did? Oh, she's got one of them pages, and she's got this, and that to me is harmless. But when you are purposely going to other people, have you heard? And then there's that bitterness and that twisted. It's definitely jealousy there. I would definitely say that's jealousy, because half of them haven't got the balls to do it,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
they don't think, or they don't think they're pretty enough.
Yeah, and
And
some of them, and some of them are some. And I something that I've learned as well is a lot of women that have problems with other women. I know women that will prefer to take phone calls and meet men in hotel rooms and stuff like that for an exchange of value for service. They see that as more dignifying as selling a picture of your feet or your boobs or whatever. Like, for me, these two things are totally separate. Yes, they're the same, something, a sexual service for sexual gratification for money. It's all the same. But there's a difference between selling your body physically and selling a few pictures. Personally, I see a clear difference from it. But people that talk about you, people that talk about you, I feel like for now, I don't know. I don't know, because this is England. You get people that are really sort of really up themselves and the stuff that pretend that their poop don't stink.
there's a
It's
lot
a
of there's a lot of judgment that comes into it. Oh, I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, they would. They would.
They would.
And mostly, and some the women, sorry, Key, some women are doing it whether they like it or not. If you've got an Instagram full of pictures of your backside, you're basically doing free OnlyFans. Men ain't watching you. Men ain't watching you for anything other than your lovely ass. Basically, that's what most women are getting monetized off their backside. Just because you do modeling pictures of you're still selling sex. Men are doing things the reason they're getting views because your butt looks so good in a pair of jeans, and men are getting gratification from it. Trust me, it's not women looking at it. It's not women giving you those likes. It's men. People who chat much will always fall in that trap of gossip. I know, for real. That's
And
true.
have you ever noticed it's those people that if they get gossiped about are absolutely disgusted. What business is it of anybody else's?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
my business is everything to do. I think the best one was when we was going to the Glamour Awards, and my friend said, "Oh, where are you going?" I said, "I'm going to London." I say, "Friend." I said, "I'm going to London." I says, "I'm nominated for a Glamour Award." She went, "You?" And I went, "Yeah, me." She went, "Who'd want to see pictures of you?"
Good God, that's a really horrible thing to say. That's the kind of thing that she probably women are the biggest critiques of women when it comes to beauty standards. One thing any man can tell you, he'll see a beautiful woman, and then his girlfriend or his wife will say that woman's ugly. This is just something that women are like that. And it's what it is. But to say that, I mean, that's not friendly. That's rude. That's rude. Malicious. And just there's just no need for it. You don't need all that's not empowering you. That's not helping you. Someone put there. If you're not saying anything to empower someone, shut the F up. Basically, I don't know. He said shut up. He didn't say shut the F up, but I got the gist of it.
But I think as well, it's again, it's that projection, because she's the same age as me. She went, "What, people want to see you?" And I'm like, "Well, yeah." Oh, I could never do that. Oh no, I couldn't degrade myself like that. You could, because you go on holiday and you're there telling me about your bikini, you're walking around in your bikini, everyone can see your abs and everything like that. So you could. It's just that you haven't got the guts to do it, and you haven't got the stones to go out there.
Yeah, I mean, people's choices in their lives are their choice. That I mean, you're people women for whatever reason, especially in this cost of living crisis that we are now. Women are, women are turning to selling pictures of their feet and pictures of themselves in bikinis and all types of other things. For me, Like, you know, why do you need to judge that? Why do I need to judge anyone? Why do I, like, you know, unless something's physically hurting me or something, or, you know, there's some sort of crime being committed, why do I care what someone else does? Like, you know, people will see you just doing our, just like people will see us just doing our show, and they'll be like, look, oh, they don't get that many views, look at them, blah blah blah. They'll talk about us, like, you know, I know that happens, like, you know, but we're happy doing our show, like, you know, we're in charge of it, we can say what we want, and, you know, we're doing what we're doing. Why is that anyone else's business? Like, you know, why do people feel the need, they need to judge and talk when, like, we're just doing our show? It's our show, we're doing it, we're not hurting anyone. We let people have their opinions, often people that don't feel heard, and, like, you know, sometimes people come in and they feel like, you know, that we might have, like, I'm the bad guy that's going to shout at them or whatever, see me as the enemy, and then they speak to me for 5 minutes and, oh, you're all right, mate, like, which I've had my whole life.
Do you find that men do that though as well? Do you...
Well, men are men that, let's just have it straight. If you've got a bunch of men talking about a bunch of other men, talking about someone else, like, you know, you've got problems. Like, you know, yes, there's gossip. We all gossip and we all might have an opinion for sure. But they get to a point where it's like personal, like, you know, I don't need to personally dig people out for personal things, like, you know, and, you know, so often sometimes people get you when you're at your worst, when you're at your lowest, when you're not well, and you're, maybe you let yourself go a little bit, and then you've got someone that's supposedly meant to be your friend talking about you behind your back. Like, you know, I don't see it. I don't get that. Like, if I see you and I see you down and out looking bad, and start seeing you like that, you know, I'm not going to talk about you to other people. I'm like, hey, you know, let's go for a coffee. Do you need any help with anything? Need some help cleaning? Do you need some help doing this, doing that, whatever? Like, you know, I'm going to try and empower the conversation. I'm not going to, like, that's not like, that's not a friend. For me to just continuously come and spend time with you and still be talking about you when you're at your lowest is like, it's really hard to understand. But then again, I had this conversation recently with someone. There are bad people out there, very unhappy people with their lives, and the only way they can find meaning and find time, space to kill is by talking about you. But it does hurt. It's like when you know a friend, when you know someone, you hang around with them, you know their two-face, you know what they're like already, but then you find out like a week later that they were talking about you. It still hurts. It still hurts, doesn't it? Like, you know, I think everyone understands this, don't they? Like, you know, it still hurts when even when friends betray you, you know, they're not like a proper friend, although they come and see you all the time. But when they betray you, it hurts.
Yeah, I think the worst is when you know, like, I've talked to people about what I do, and I've talked and talked, and then I go away and they've literally sort of run around the corner to go and tell somebody else, have you heard? Oh my God. And then they've spun it to a negative. And I just think to myself, if you don't like what I do, just say, well, it's not for me, blah, blah, blah.
That's all that needs to be said in that particular thing. That's all that needs to be said. If you, in this day and age, women are doing OF. That's what it is. All types of women, all ages, all sizes, all shapes, and they're being empowered for it. And with the joys of the internet, you're opened up to a massive pool of maybe let's just say 3 billion people on the internet. Someone is gonna find, like, if you empower what you're good at and empower what you've got, your flaws, you know, you can find 1,000 people very easily to pay £10 a month. That's nearly 10 grand a month. You can get there. Everyone can do it. You just have to put the work in.
I think that's another thing as well. They don't know the graph that goes behind it.
Oh, good God, yeah. Behind anything. To be successful at anything, to make money at anything. There's a reason that most OF creators stay at 10%, are like in that 10% mark, like, you know, which isn't particularly a lot of money. There's a reason. But once the people that persevere and push through it, they climb the ladder, but it's not easy. Like, you know, I've spoken to people on all spans, on all percentages, and it's not easy. And the ones that are on the 0%, they work 10 times harder than the ones at 10%. Like, you know, and this is what some people need to understand. Like, you know, hard work needs to go into it, and it might not even be rewarding straight away. You might have whole bits of your guts hanging out all over the internet, like, you know, before you've even got to that stage. Like, you know, what I would say, if you get to that stage, you know, it's time to work. But yeah, it's time to work. But yeah.
I just think it's a lot of self-projection. I think it's a lot of insecurities and a lot of jealousy, especially with women. I genuinely believe, and they say when you get to my age, you can count your friends on one hand.
Yeah, I think everyone can. Everyone can.
And if they're a real friend, you don't have to talk to them every day. You don't have to speak to them every day. You can pick that phone up 3 weeks down the line, and it's like you've never ever been apart. Or you can go out, and it's like you've been apart. And I think a lot of people just think friendship, you've got to have lots of friends. You've got to be popular. You haven't.
They're not real friends. They're not real friends. Friendships of convenience are fine. Like friendships, like we can all, like most of us, we think we've got really good friends. Most of us have friendships of convenience. You go out, you have a drink with someone, you go out, you have a catch up. There's some sort of social element to what you're doing, you know, even if you've known them for years, whatever. Like, you know, but unfortunately, when you do have friends and they betray you, it hurts. It really does hurt. And then when they do it again and again and again and again and again, they just betray you over and over again. It gets does it get to a point where you have to cut people off though?
Yeah, I did. I cut them off. I just went, right, these are my friends. I know who my friends are. And that's it. If I see you in the street, I'm not going to be rude. Hi, how you doing? How's things? Blah, blah, blah. Have a chat. There's no bad blood between us. You're now just, you've gone down to acquaintance. You're an acquaintance. My real friends are the ones that, you know, have come round and took photographs for me when I've not been able to do things, you know, remotely, or we've gone for a walk and they've videoed me and things like that. They're the real friends. They're the ones that have grafted with me. The ones that are sitting there going, have you seen? And but also, right, one of them found out I'd got a blue tick, right? And she actually had the nerve to ring to see if I could get her in a club.
Mm.
And I was like, no. And you know what? 20 years ago, I probably would have done it.
Mm.
But now, no. And it's really weird as well, because my ex-boyfriend from many years ago found out, and he was the one person I didn't want to find out because he's like one of the top lads at Forest and all this stuff. And he rang me up and he was like, have you got something to tell me? And I was like, what? And he was like, you've got something to tell me. And I was like, no, I haven't. And he went, yeah. And we was laughing. And then he went, and then at the end of it, he just went, you go, girl. And I was laughing and I said, do you know what though? I keep getting called a man. They keep thinking that I'm trans. He went, I'll go on and tell them that you're not.
Yeah, real Sherman's put real friends don't want to know your business unless you tell them. I do think there is that natural curiosity though that we all have it, like, you know, let's just say, like, you know, as human beings, you know, sometimes we like to have a good gossip, but I think there's a line. Like, there's a line. I could have an opinion on what you're up to. I can have an opinion on my friend. I can have an opinion on how someone lives, all the rest of it. The moment that becomes malicious, and when I say malicious, I mean, like, you know, crossing the line. There's a line you cross. And when someone crosses the line with you, you're now in a situation where you can sit there and think, why have you done this? Or you can say, it's time for us to part ways. You go your way, I'll go my way. I've got no intention, like you just said. I feel that's the best way of dealing with it. Like, otherwise, it's like now all those women that spoke about you, you know, all these women that have all these horrible things to say about you. Like, how would you feel them coming around your house and you're just sitting there looking at them, knowing that they're snakes? How would you feel?
I don't have anything to do with them anymore.
Yeah, but it would because that I mean, yeah. It's if you say to me, then you have no right to chat.
Yeah, listen. If you can't say it to my face,
Okay, I'm with you. Yeah,
if you can't say it to my face, don't say it to anybody else.
that's perfect. Actually, that's perfect. That's actually perfect. So what crosses the line? That's perfect, Kitty. Anything that you're not prepared to say to my face, say behind my back is crossing the line. I like that. I think that's a good ruling. To be fair, that's a good ruling. And you have to bear in mind, if there are things that you would say behind my back, and if you said to my face, there might be some action there, like, like especially amongst men, like, then there's some, it's serious.
I've had people ring me up and go, "Have you heard about such and such?" And then they'll ask me if I know, and I always say no now. Now,
It's
20,
best. It's
30 years,
best.
I probably would have talked about it,
Yeah.
but now, and people will say, "Oh," and then they find out I knew about it, and I was like, "But it's not my story to tell."
Yeah.
I take things to the grave. Me, I'm now.
It's the best way. The best way, if you can just stop when the gossip starts, just turn your ears off and say, "Oh, I'm not interested." I mean, I have got to that stage anyway, but like I said, like, I would hope when I think about it, I'm not a malicious person. I would hope when I think about it that there aren't things that I wouldn't say about people behind their back to their face, like, but yeah, I don't know. But more, I don't know. I don't know. But especially
I
about
think
offering encouragement. If there's things that you can do to encourage or empower and help that someone, yeah,
one of my friends they were at a party and these girls were all talking about me.
that hurts.
And they turned around to one of my friends who I've known 30 odd years, and they said, "What do you think?" And she actually turned around and said, "She's not in the room. She can't defend herself. So I'm not going to talk about her. She's my friend. And I would appreciate if you would stop talking about her because I don't want to be."
That's good.
They all sort of went, "Oh, I didn't think you were that close with her." She went, "I've been close with her for 30 years. I don't want, and I appreciate if you don't talk about her." And this person's sort of quite sort of tasty as well. Do you know what I mean? So they all sort of went, and they forget that I've been around, around a lot of people for a lot of years. So
Yeah.
when people are talking about me,
Yeah.
always somebody listening.
I mean, how should that conversation go? I mean, in this day and age, women of all ages are doing OF. So let's just say, even in the most snootiest of environments, you hear that one of your friends of 30 years, that's in her 60s or whatever, has just started OF or whatever. Oh, really? Like, are you thinking about, really? You wouldn't start saying, maybe that. Like, "Oh, really? You started OF, go girl," or "You're crazy," or "You're whatever," you say that sort of stuff. Like, to go behind someone's back and say, "Have you seen the state of her and look what she's doing on the internet," is that is something different. That's something totally different.
Who does she think she is?
But women do this though. Women just do this. You guys are a breed unto your own. Like, when it comes to other women and beauty standards, I don't like her. She's got a big nose. Don't like her. She's got this. She's got this. Like, women just do it. Like, I think that just goes with the territory of being a woman.
Yeah, I've got one friend, and she said to me, she sent me a meme, and it says, "I haven't got 6 men to carry my coffin, but I have got a good-looking friend that will find 6 men to carry my coffin." And she put, "You." And
Yeah, sure.
now that's the sort of thing. But she knows what I do, and she turned around to me. She went, "You go, girl. You
Yeah.
go on." Now that's fine.
Yeah.
I heard that she has been saying other things though, and
Yeah, that.
so like, okay.
Yeah, I think sometimes you I don't know, it hurts when I think when it comes to personal things about people, like really personal things that you just like, nasty, malicious things, like on like, and especially when people are at their lowest, like, it's all like for someone to get to a stage where you're talking about them and being honest about them, that person's at their lowest, like maybe medically, psychologically, to dig them out about personal things to people, to any Joe blogs as well. Like, very, like, things get said in the house. Don't get me wrong. I know that things 100% get said in the house, like, and that's in house. It's safe. No one, everyone knows the rules. You don't talk outside this house. I understand that things happen. Like, people will say things to their husbands, their wives, their girlfriends. That's things that it goes without saying. That doesn't go out there. Like, you might have an opinion, you might share an opinion, and it might be a horrible opinion, but it's not going out to that person. Things get said in house. Everyone knows that. That's a standard thing. To bring it outside the house and start telling other people other people's business, for me, that's hard. And when you do find out, even if you know that person's a snake and a whatever, when it does happen again, it hurts real bad. And the worst part of it is looking that person in the face. You can't look at them the same anymore. You can't look at, so a snake bites you once, you think, okay, I'll put some antibiotics on it or whatever. It bites you again, you know, I got to stop looking at the snake and start looking at myself. The snake's nature is to bite people. That's what it does.
Can I tell you something though? I never ever told her that her husband used to message me all the time, and that's how much of a nice person I am.
You just
Never
did.
told her. You're watching this now. Your husband used to message me all the bloody time.
Yeah, and there's a lot of that. Why are men so stupid? Like, so a comedian said that as well. I think it was Chris Rock said that when men cheat, they cheat with the person next door or their friend's best friend or something like this. Like, you know, their friend's wife or something like that. Right next door, they cheat.
I think he used to think because he obviously heard what she was saying about me in the house that she didn't like me, so that I didn't like her, so that I wouldn't go to her. But I just used to.
That's betrayal. That's real betrayal, boy. Can you imagine that? That is real betrayal. Like, you know, we just spoke about inside sort of chat. And then if you know your wife hates someone and then you go, that's real betrayal. That would hurt. That would hurt big time.
Why have you just been removed?
Oh, let's have a look. Access, hate speech behavior. Hate speech, submit an appeal, submit. Talking about friendship over here. Appeal and review. Good God. All right. TikTok got shut down. Let me just do that. But Kitty, very interesting chat. Very interesting chat. And yes, words of wisdom, Kitty, to people that when people find out, if you know from someone that's been there directly, when you find out that your snake of a friend just is going to keep biting you, keep snaking you, keep spitting venom at you, towards you, what's your answer?
Chop its head off, right? And the only way you can chop its head off is to walk away. You don't need closure. You don't need an ending. You be your own closure. You be your own ending, and just walk away. Choose your peace over their peace. That's it.
Beautifully put. Beautifully put. Guys, thank you very much for joining us today, guys. Peace and love to you tomorrow. As always, guys, any other videos that you want us to review or talk about, any other conversations, please do not hesitate. Let us know. Put it in the comments. Take part in the show, guys. We need your comments. We can't grow unless you comment. You give your opinions. Even if you think I'm a freaking whatever and Kitty's a God knows what. Kitty he's past it and she should be doing OF. Even if you think that, bloody say it.
You can say it to my face.
That's it. Nothing that you wouldn't say to her face, guys. Peace and love to you guys. God love you. God love me. Bye. Do.